called the Paragon. It's an old hotel down the shore. It's where the legendary gangster Meyer Lansky stashed his missing 300 million.
Are you guys seeing this?
Everyone that's gone looking for this money, never been heard from again.
Sounds dangerous.
Hi, Mark. How are you doing, sir? Nice to speak to you.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks very much for a great film. I loved it to bits. I really love these guys. It reminded me a little bit of, it's very different, but it reminded me a little bit of Ghost Ship, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
I love that to bits. Yeah. It was a fantastic movie. So I really kind of love this. I'm not usually a fan of kind of influencer Instagram or these kind of styles, but what I really, really loved about this is the fact that it follows these Instagrammers, but it never kind of leans so far into using that kind of footage all the way through, which is something that I was expecting. I expected to kind of be almost like a found footage movie, whereas this kind of really feels a lot more cinematic. So I really appreciated that approach. I'm quite curious why you went for that approach while you were kind of covering this
the script didn't present itself as a found footage movie.
Right.
I mean, there are elements of that, but it's not overwhelming. There's definitely, as you say, a lot of, cinematic shots. It's certainly shot in that kind of way for the most part. But there are little bits, like a lot of the stuff with the 80s, with the 80s videotape and the VHS stuff. That was, I love that stuff. I love the VHS aesthetic. I love that. I love that look. So there's almost like moments of VHS art in there, which was really cool. So it's definitely a more cinematic movie than a found footage movie.
But the reason I ask you that though is because a lot of the found footage movies are as frightening as they are because they feel so palpable because they are shot in that kind of style. So that was kind of why I was curious why you kind of went for a more cinematic approach, which manages not to kind of pull us out of that feeling as if we're actually in the same situation as they are. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, I guess there were just too many elements that didn't too many dialogue elements that didn't, quite fit into that style. I mean, look, I love, everything from Blair Witch to Paranormal Activity to the Chernobyl. What is it? The Chernobyl tape?
Right, yeah,
Is that what it's called?
the Rennie Harlin movie, no? Was it that?
No, not Rennie Harlin. It was,
No,
it
I'm
was like a
getting mixed
found
up.
footage movie where they. Anyway,
Yeah,
I love found footage, but again, the script didn't present enough opportunities, I guess, to do something like that.
yeah. No, it works really well. And then by extension, I'm quite curious if you consciously kind of tried to eschew a little bit of all the background that you've got with music videos, or was that something you really wanted to lean into for this film?
I mean, there is, I guess, the stereotypical kind of music video director, movie where it's
Yeah.
it's
Didn't
just
feel like that
all,
at all. I'm just
yeah,
curious.
yeah, it's all style, no substance. But if you look at a lot of my music videos, I've certainly done all style, no substance, but I think the ones that I'm known for are really more substance-like than style-like. So for me, it's not really a difficult thing, but I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm definitely aware of the stereotype. But yeah, I don't think it feels like that, and I was conscious of that. Yes.
Yeah, no, that was it. I imagine you kind of second guessing yourself at certain moments of the film. Are they going to be, like you said, there's certain stereotypes of music directors who kind of they land a feature directorial a feature movie to direct, and I guess that's something that's on your mind that you don't want to get pigeonholed as that kind of director that does only that kind of stuff,
I didn't.
you know?
I'm not. I mean, I'm definitely aware of it, but it's also not who I am. So
Yeah.
it's not really an issue. But I mean, I know what you're talking about. I mean, but a movie, for the most part, I mean, there's a million type of movies, but movies work off of story. They work off of character. They work off emotion, off of feeling. So it's a completely different type of thing.
hmm I'm quite curious as well, directing actors
Yeah.
who the actors themselves are directors because they're making their own kind of these programs that
Right.
they want people to watch. So I'm quite curious. how much of a challenge, or how exciting, or how did you approach directing directors, and did you kind of let them shoot some of the footage, or was that completely off
Yes, yes,
limits?
we
Yeah.
definitely let them shoot some of the footage. I think it's a stretch to call them directors. I mean, they're
But yeah,
they're just capture they're slapping on
content
a
creators though. Yeah.
GoPro and capturing a thing. But yeah, I mean, I was conscious of it, but I mean, I think it's just so part of our culture now that people on social media do this kind of thing and are just very adept with all kinds of little cameras to get into weird places and stuff.
Brilliant. Talking of weird places, the place where it takes place, the hotel, is about as eerie as it could be. I was just speaking to your actors, and they said that most of it was actually shot at this hotel that was kind of set up to look like that. But I mean, that must have been difficult to
Yeah.
find the exact right place, because it really is a
Yeah,
great setting,
yeah, no,
great location.
that's a great observation. So when that was probably the biggest challenge of the movie is like, where the hell are we going to shoot this thing? We don't have,
Yeah.
$100 million. We can't recreate this, blah, blah, blah. So I was looking at abandoned buildings, abandoned hotels, and they're just not safe to shoot in. There's
Right.
like glass and concrete and sharp edges and rebar and all kinds of stuff like that. But one of my producers has experience shooting in Bulgaria. And Bulgaria
Right.
used to be a communist country. And I guess the government commissioned this building, this giant, like concrete, brutalist kind of building to be built. And it's massive. I mean, it's just massive. And there's also nooks and crannies, and there's interesting, and it was built in like the 70s, and it just had a really eerie vibe to it. And that's the reason we schlepped all the way over to Bulgaria and shot it there
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of that space.
Uh-huh. Because you found this place, I'm guessing after the script, did the script have to kind of adapt to the new location at all, or was it pretty much as did it fit the location just as you kind of wanted?
I mean, for the most part, it did. For the most
Yeah.
part, it did. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure we definitely made some adjustments, but for the most part, it did. I should have the name of it. It's because they hold, I guess they hold concerts and things there now. But I mean,
All right.
you could walk for miles in this building. I've never been in like an indoor space that big.
Uh-huh. So it was a bit like living like Jack Torrance in The Shining, no? A little bit,
Yeah,
even
no,
though you
there's
were a crew there. No,
definitely
yeah.
some shining element there. Sure.
Brilliant. I want to talk a little about. I cannot talk about the creatures that I don't want to give too much away, obviously, but you work with the fantastic Javier Botet. I
Yes.
live in Spain, so I've seen
Oh, okay.
all of his movies, and I've seen a lot of
Oh,
movies that
cool.
he acts in, not just as a creature, but as himself. He's
Yeah, yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I
no,
want to I just want to ask a little bit about what was kind of the experience working with such a pro when it comes to kind of creature performances.
yeah, no, well, when I was, kind of taxed with figuring out how to create this creature, I was Googling around and I came across Javier, and I was just blown away. First of all, physically, just his physical appearance was just so incredibly unique. And then when you talk to him, I mean, you know him, and he's the total opposite of these like evil creatures he plays. He's just this
Yeah,
really sweet,
really down to
warm
earth guy. Yeah.
man. And he was great. And there was the human side to the character, to the creature, and then there's the creature, and he was great at figuring out and working with me to create both sides of it.
Uh-huh. And I was also speaking to Francesca, who she's got some quite all the characters have got physical roles there. But Francesca surprised me when she started doing the yoga, and she's very flexible and all these kinds of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I'm quite curious. Was all of the kind of the physicality of the performances, was that all in the script from the word go? Because I understand that they did quite a lot of their own stunts in the film.
Yeah,
Not
no,
all of them, but most of them. Yeah.
it was all in there. I mean, everything was
Mm.
in there. But it's funny you bring up Francesca because there's a great ad lib dialogue bit when we go into that big room with the big wrapped statue, and we needed something to happen there, and she's such a great actress, and she's really great on her feet, and she came up with this whole thing that ended up in the movie. So that wasn't in the script, but she's really good at that.
Oh, that's great. Well, listen, they give me the rep. So, listen, Mark, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for a fantastic movie. I can't wait for people to see it, and I hope to speak to you again sometime soon.
All right, Howard, thanks for having
Right.
me.